doing this blower door test. Now this service is not very commonly requested as part of a general home inspection. This is actually only, I think, the third time I've done this. With the exception of new construction, it's a energy code compliance requirement in that case. But used houses, very rarely do people want me to do this. My client's pretty savvy on building science, and this is actually the guest house. His parents are going to be moving in here, and he wants to make sure this house is nice and comfortable, doesn't have a bunch of drafts in the winter, and it's more energy efficient. So I have this cloth, big old fan, and a digital manometer that is measuring how many air changes per hour is happening at 50 pascals of pressure, ACH 50. Not going to get into the weeds on all of that stuff right now, but we're measuring 7.5 ACH 50, roughly. And as this thing is running, sucking that air out of the house, that air has to be replenished from elsewhere. So we let it run for a little while, a nice cold day like today, with a thermal camera, and we can see where that air leakage is actually happening. And then what we can do to make it a little bit tighter, a little more energy efficient with some sealant or with some gaskets or whatever the case may be. So I'll show you some of those common areas now. Real common spot is around windows and doors around the trim here. You can see all that blue. That's cold air being sucked in as the air inside is being blown out. Another area is light switches and outlets, things like that on exterior walls. Pretty much any surface intersection. So we have a wall here and a fireplace masonry. You can see a fair bit of air leakage up there. And if we look down here at the ground level on the other side of it, same thing. Some more exterior wall light switches and outlets over there. And then our recessed lighting as well. Another common area. If those don't get sealed when they go in, they will leak. And here's another intersection between a floor and a wall. You can see it coming up right there behind the trim. And same story there. Another common spot, this is actually an interior wall, but we have a strike plate for a door. And then behind there is framing, and that framing goes up into the attic. And there's little gaps and cracks and whatever else that didn't get sealed. Very hard detail to get right. We do have a fair bit of air leakage there. Just turned this thing off and can actually hear myself think now, which is awesome. I'm gonna break it all down and put it away. But that is a blower door test. Again, not super common with the exception of new construction. But now we know, we've documented where the leakage is happening. We have some actionable areas now that we can address and make the house a little more comfortable for my client and his parents.